Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Naomi revealed on Friday's SmackDown broadcast that she was the unidentified attacker who had assaulted Jade Cargill. She made fun of her assault on Cargill, who was found unconscious in the parking lot following an episode of the Blue brand last year. In a message to the Storm on X in November, she missed the 2024 Women's War Games event and the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble battle due to the assault, which kept her out of commission for many months. Lastly, the 32-year-old assaulted her erstwhile buddy at the Toronto Premium Live Elimination Chamber event. On SmackDown, Naomi, who had already admitted to Bianca Belair that she was the mastermind behind the assault on X, suffered yet another severe beating. When Jade posted on X that she was that B***, the 37-year-old celebrity responded by calling Naomi a bit *hat. Sam Roberts expressed his opinion on the Natum Wrestling podcast that Bianca Belair would not be allowed to turn heel as Jade Cargill did at some time. Although Cargill versus Naomi has not yet been officially announced, Robert offered a suggestion that Cargill would beat Naomi covertly to set the groundwork for a potential heel flip at Storm. At WrestleMania 41, Bianca Belair is slated to contend for the WWE Women's World Championship. No one could have predicted who was responsible for the vicious assaults on Jade Cargill, despite weeks of speculation. Cargill had been receiving cryptic messages from a dark stranger, and each time she recovered from one assault, she was targeted again. Now that the truth was out, there was a lot of enthusiasm in the wrestling community. Thousands of fervent supporters packed the stadium, and the atmosphere was fantastic. The stadium was filled with cheers from the fans as the lights went down and Jade Cargill's famous entrance song played. Jade walked confidently up to the ring, her eyes focused on the ramp, as if she were ready to take on any obstacle. Awaited the after weeks of doubt, she had finally stepped into the ring and was ready to do an interview while trying to understand what had happened. But as Jade grabbed the microphone, as the lights faded and eventually went out, the stadium was shaken by a sudden, disturbing noise that left the fans perplexed and on the edge of their seats. The crowd erupted in a gasp when the lights suddenly returned. Titantron showed a high-resolution, contemporary picture of Naomi's face. Her look was one of extreme cold calculation as she stood in a poorly lighted room. She gazed at the camera with a little grin on her lips. With a voice full of determination and purpose, Naomi spoke 4 strong words that would startle the wrestling community. The fan gasped in surprise as the statement immediately came. "I am your nightmare." Jade's eyes became wide as her hands tightened around the microphone. It was somewhat shocking to hear the revelation. Jade had been wondering for weeks who may have been responsible for the savage assaults. And now she had the answer. Naomi, the long silent former champion of the powerhouse, had been exposed in the most horrifying manner possible. As Naomi's comments hung in the air like a dense mist, Jade remained still. The lady who had been her friend, Ailey, had betrayed her severely. The crowd was going crazy. Naomi was clearly stating that she was officially declaring war, not just going up against Jade Cargill. The former champion was ready to take back what she believed was rightfully hers after being ignored and undervalued for a long time. As the spectators tried to comprehend the seriousness of the situation, they let out whispers of incredulity. Although Naomi had always been strong, this was a very different situation. She wasn't interested in winning titles or proving her superiority. This touched near to heart for her. Naomi was going for Jade's identity, heritage, and everything that made her Jade Cargill, in addition to the physical attack. Naomi sent a harsh message with very clear intentions. She would not stop until Jade was destroyed. A change in Naomi's character from her time in WWE to her shift to a more upbeat and vivacious demeanor. The world has seen Naomi's evolution throughout the years. But now that image has been destroyed. Fans of Naomi had previously known a vibrant, vivacious lady who was always grinning. But now they saw a woman who had been tempered by disappointment, betrayal, and a need for more. Naomi had seen Jade's ascent to prominence and her ascent to the top of the women's division. Even though Naomi has a lengthy history of winning in competition, newer, less seasoned players have lately eclipsed her. Under the stars, Her struggles and achievements remained unappreciated. And now, because of Jade's amazing rise to prominence, Naomi had. The way that Jade's accomplishments were covered by the media recently made Naomi, who had been adored by the fans and a respected figure in the locker room, feel as if she was fading into obscurity. Jade Cargill was the public face of the gender gap in AEW because to her success and charisma. But Naomi wasn't going to stand by and let hostility grow. Naomi ultimately made the decision in that dark moment that she would not let Jade steal her thunder, or even dull her brightness after months of mounting tension. In an attempt to regain her place at the top of the nightmare she had become, Naomi had offered Jade 4 words. But to her, those remarks were a declaration to the whole AEW locker room that Naomi was back and ready to assume leadership. Jade held the microphone tightly while standing still in the middle of the ring among the obvious nervousness. The cry caused a chorus of astonishment and bewilderment to erupt across the stadium. Jade took a big breath, her heart pounding, her mind racing, trying to process what had just happened. After weeks of being taken by surprise, the identity of her assailant was suddenly quite clear. Why was the only question? She screamed into the microphone, her voice a tornado of astonishment and rage. And the words, "Naomi," oozed out of her lips like poison. "You want to be my worst enemy. You're going to find out what happens if you attempt to ruin me." In support of the champion who had just suffered a crushing blow, the fans rose and screamed Jade's name. But Jade was not going to back down. She had changed from victim to warrior, and Naomi had ignited an inner fire that would be hard to extinguish. As she went on, her voice became louder with each syllable, and her eyes glowed with passion. "I fought through every challenge, every opponent, and I've come out on top." Jade's eyes tightened as her face stiffened. "Naomi, you made a mistake. I will make you regret crossing me because of something you woke up in me that cannot be suppressed. When war breaks out, I always win." When Jade dropped the microphone and met Titantron's gaze, the stadium was electrified. The conflict between Naomi and Jade was going to escalate to unprecedented levels, and it was clear that there would be no going back. The two women continued to dispute in and out of the ring throughout the hectic weeks that followed in August. Naomi had accepted her darker side to the fullest. He was formerly a friendly rival, but he shocked a few of the women by suddenly displaying a new level of passion and aggression.